What is Determined Women of Destiny?
What is Determined Women of Destiny?
What is Determined Women of Destiny?
So, what is Determined Women of Destiny?
Really, can someone tell me what is Determined Women of Destiny?
This ain't your average talk show, honey. This is where passion meets purpose, where women receive empowerment and encouragement, infused with information and inspiration, but more than anything else, motivation to live their best life. So I want you to grab a cup of coffee or a spot of tea. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
There goes a woman of God. Baby looking like whoa, man. There goes a woman of God. I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman first. I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman too. I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman true. I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman. Oh.
Hello, 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 and welcome to Determined Women of Destiny. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I'm Yvonne, the Motivator Man. This is season 5. She's a game changer. And I tell you, my guest today not only changed the game, she is doing such amazing things. I can barely keep up with her. I want to welcome to the show Miss Gwen DeVoe. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, Yvonne. Thank you for having me on.
I am so happy to have you because you're doing such great things. And as we are women of a certain age, you are killing it, Miss DeVoe. Absolutely. I want to let everyone who's tuned in today know a little bit about your background. Miss DeVoe does so many things. And I met her through Full Figure Fashion Week. There was an ad. She wanted volunteers. And I said, hey, I'm a woman of a certain size. I want to volunteer. When I tell you that first event for that week changed my whole entire life, how I looked at myself, how I viewed myself, because I had a gastric bypass, I had lost a lot of weight, and I had started putting weight back on. So of course I was beating myself up, my self-confidence wasn't there, but I'm in the room with all of these beauties of every size, every color.
Yes.
And I mean, they're strutting their stuff. So I just want to know, how did you come up with that concept of Full Figure Fashion Week and how all of this started?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. And also, thank you for volunteering your service for the Full Figure Fashion Week. The event would not have been as successful if we didn't have people like you who wanted to support us and volunteer. It's a lot of work, and I couldn't hire a team of 200 people to man the event. So the volunteerism was crucial to the success of the event. So thank you. In terms of how I came up with the idea, it's really pretty simple. I wish I had more of an elaborate story to tell everyone. But I always let everybody know that I went to New York Fashion Week. It was Tracy Reese's show. And after the show, I wanted to go backstage to her, I guess it's called a trunk show or sample sale. And the security guard that was at the door letting people into the sample sale politely told me that there would probably be nothing there that I could buy. And I think he meant because of my size. I was heavier then. I was probably more in the 18-20 size range. And that kind of ticked me off. First of all, how dare you? Second of all, the audacity. And I just kind of like felt, I went home, called my best friend, Sharon Quinn, and told her, I said, I think we need a fashion week for ourselves, just for plus size women. And she said, well, if anybody could do it, you could do it. And that was like the beginning of it. When she gave me that motivation and that, pat on the back, the words of encouragement that I could do it, I started planning it. And the following year, 2009, Full Figure Fashion Week was launched.
Now, you had a career as a model before all of this, am I correct?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your modeling career, because you're very tall, well, being that I'm 5'3", you're very tall to me. And you're a woman of a certain size. Were you a larger size woman at that time, or were you the modeless that America looks for?
Yeah, I was. I'm 5'11". I'm a size 16W now, but at the time that I was modeling, I was probably 18, borderline 20. My modeling career was very short-lived. I'm a Virgo. I'm notorious for planning. And so everything that I do, I give it a timeline, okay? I'm gonna do this, 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 and if this doesn't happen by then, I'm not doing it anymore. And that's kind of what I did for the modeling industry, because at that time, there just wasn't enough legitimate and compensated gigs for plus models. And back in the day, women or plus size women entered the world of modeling for things other than compensation, all right? I'm always about being compensated for what I do. That's just, I don't do a lot of stuff for fun. I'm just saying. And if I'm seeing my smaller counterparts getting paid, if I invest in my craft, I need to get paid as well.
Hey, me too.
And that's just who I am. I'm not greedy for money, but I do believe that roles should be comparable. And I couldn't understand why smaller models were being paid and the plus size models were not. So I just said, I'm not doing this, because you're spending a lot of money on, even though you're given the clothes to wear, there's a heck of a lot of upkeep. You have to make sure your hair is done, your nails are done. Back then, we always modeled in hose. And for a plus size woman, they wanted a certain kind of hose, so that was an investment that you had. Shapewear. Okay, shapewear back then didn't even cost as much as it costs now. So we had to invest in shapewear, multiple kinds of bras. There's so much that goes into being a model in the industry that I don't think people realize, car fare, getting to where you have to go and coming back home. No one paid, no one sent a car for you back then. There was no transportation provided.
You jumped on that train and you got there the best way you could, huh?
Listen, and I just started, I think I did it maybe for 5 years, and I just started adding things up, and it just wasn't, I just didn't see where my investment, I was getting a return on my investment. And so I said, I'm not, Yvonne, because this is exactly how I am. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore, because I thought you were supposed to make money at this, And so then I just decided, at the time I was promoting parties, producing special events for the NBA and the NFL, parties. And I didn't really want to invest all that money that I made into the modeling thing. And then one day I had a party and the entertainment didn't show up. And I pulled some of my friends who were in the audience, or not in the audience, but who had attended the event, dressed really nicely, and we did an impromptu fashion show. And that was the beginning of me producing fashion shows for other people. They looked so good. And what I found is the one plus size model I had always in the show, Miss Quinn, accolades, clapping, then I said, I think I'm kind of onto something. So that really was the beginning and the introduction of me getting into providing platforms for plus size models. That was the true beginning.
Well,
but Full Figure Fashion Week, of course, is probably the more famous platform.
When we come back from break, I'm going to tell the story how I met Miss DeVoe and Miss Gwen. Miss DeVoe and Miss Quinn. It is the funniest thing ever. And you got to come back from break. This is really good. I told you she's a game changer. She said, I'm not modeling. I'm not doing it. You're not paying me. And I always tell you, you're just one step away from greatness. That one show put her on the map. So you guys come back after the break so you can hear the rest of the story.
My name is Kamisha Farkason, CEO and founder of Concrete HR Solutions, LLC, a consulting firm providing concrete solutions for all of your HR needs. Here at Concrete, our mission is to enhance our clients' opportunities for success. We ensure that the right numbers of the right people are in the right jobs at the right time with the right training, all while promoting positive employee relations and making sure that you remain compliant. We understand that human resources is the support arm of an organization. It's about driving efficient business results, driving your mission through effective people management and minimizing risk. What sets us apart is that Concrete is not only for small businesses. We provide solutions for employees and job seekers as well. It all begins with a conversation. Head on over to concretehrsolutionsllc.com today to book your first 10-minute consultation. The people within your organization are your most important investment. And here at Concrete, we are in the business of taking care of your investment.
We are back. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Determined Women of Destiny. Like, share, and subscribe. My guest is none other than Miss Gwen DeVoe, the originator of Full Figure Fashion Week and so much more. Before we went on break, Miss DeVoe was telling us how she started her first fashion show. It was impromptu. And I met Miss DeVoe and Miss Sharon Quinn at a fashion show. I was doing some side work for Audra Catalog, and Miss Sharon Quinn was the MC. And we had these beautiful blue cupcakes. And Miss Quinn kept looking at this cupcake and she was like, well, what does a blue cupcake taste like? And everybody was like, oh my gosh, she's talking to us, we can't talk. And I've been into it, I said, it tastes like a cupcake, that's it. And she cracked up. Now I'm sitting next to Miss DeVoe, not knowing who she is, and I'm just taking pictures. So I go to take her picture, not knowing I just can't take a picture. And she puts her phone up and she takes a picture of me at the same time I'm taking a picture of her. And I'm like, why is she doing that? Not knowing who she is. And I just can't say, oh, I'm gonna take a picture of Miss DeVoe. It's the funniest thing. And then when I see Full Figure Fashion Week, and I see it's Miss DeVoe, I'm like, oh, that's why I couldn't. So you know how your mama always says, make sure you act correctly because you don't know who you're around.
You never know.
Well, that was one time that happened. And, like I said, from Full Figure Fashion Week, I met Anthony Mays. I believe he goes by Sir Icon. Mm-hmm. And we were in that room. And, I just thought, I didn't know what I was going to do. He snatches me, puts me in the room and tells me that I have to be the one that looks at the pictures. And we were giving away Hanes undergarments. And don't let anybody out of here if their paperwork and their pictures aren't right. And I'm like, what do I know about this? So I think 2 or 3 people came out and it just wasn't happening right. He comes back in the room. He pulls me close. What did I tell you? You look at that picture. No pictures that aren't done come out of here. If a picture looks bad, you tell her, don't put it before Miss DeVoe and Miss Quinn. And you make sure that paperwork is right. I went back in that room. Okay, let's go.
You learn fast, right?
Absolutely fast, extremely. But what I couldn't understand is that some of the women came and they really didn't understand what they were, embracing at that time, because you had to come back and tell them, hey, listen, we have major TV outlets here. I don't need to see your undergarments.
Yes.
If you don't have on the right shapewear, can you borrow somebody's if necessary? And I don't want to see spots on your shirts. And I'm sitting there like, people, this is your big break.
Yes.
And you've been given this chance.
Yes.
Mr. DeVoe doesn't have to give this to you. So I just left there so wonderfully elated. My head was big, you know. That was the casting call. And then I came back for Full Figure Fashion Week. And then you gave an HIV event, you know, and that's why I learned how to treat volunteers. You fed us first. You didn't give us just pizza. You fed us the same food that everybody else was eating. We just got a chance to eat it an hour before.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
and you were so good. You were so good to your volunteers. And
it's about because you know what, Yvonne, it's about the experience.
Mhm.
So everyone's so hell bent on creating an experience for the customer, but what about the workers? You know what I mean? And you guys were the workers. You weren't compensated monetarily, but a lot of people that have volunteered at Full Figure Fashion Week have gone on to do their own events, because now they know what to produce in terms of the front end, but the back end is just as important. Because let me tell you, keep your employees happy and they will be happy in whatever task you give them. There's nothing like having somebody work for you who's unhappy, dissatisfied. They're not gonna do a good job because they don't really want to be there. We wanted our volunteers to be excited about the event, but more importantly, to be excited to be a part of the event. So I believe in creating an experience. You know, we tried really, really hard. Sometimes things didn't go as planned, but we try to correct that. I never make the same mistake twice. Let's make some new mistakes if we have to make mistakes at all. You know, event planning it's not easy.
And you brought women together that, you know, there's 3 women that still to this day, I think I did Full Figure Fashion Week in 2015. And still today we interact on Facebook. You know, I would have never met these wonderful women if it wasn't for Full Figure Fashion Week. And the thing I always wanted to go to, Miss DeVoe, was the white party.
Yeah, the white party. I mean, people have already talked to me for 2 years in a row since the pandemic, saying, okay, you don't have to do Full Figure Fashion Week, but can you just do like the white party? Yes. We'll come to New York for the white party. And I'm like, okay, no, it's expensive. It's very expensive. I just can't imagine people flying into New York for just a boat ride, you know? Mm-hmm. They say they're willing to do it. So I don't know. I don't want to produce it, but if somebody wants to do it, I will collaborate. Hint, 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 hint.
I was going to say, you heard it here first. So if you want to, because I will tell you, ladies, just from the pictures, the brothers are fine. And
the guys really come out, and they, you know what I liked about our white party, because I've gone to a lot of different boat rides and white parties or theme parties when people just refuse to embrace the theme. You know, they can't tell me what to do. But that white party, I think I playfully kicked somebody off the boat or wouldn't allow them on the boat because they didn't have white on or whatever. And then at the end, when everyone had board, and I'm like, I'm just kidding. But you see, you have 400 people that came on before you and they all had on white. Don't you feel bad? It was a young woman too. And she's like, yeah. Then she had an excuse, something happened or whatever. But for the most part, they embraced the theme. And that made it really, really nice. And nicely dressed. Yeah. Just kind of like, you know, not just a pair of white jeans and a tank top or whatever. Everybody. Baby, they would come in there and show you a little something. So it was probably one of the more popular events.
Yeah, full out. And the brothers were looking for women of a certain size. And that's what I really like, because, you know, I don't have a problem with size 6s, really don't. You know, I've been a 7'8", won't be back there again. I ain't trying to get back there because I won't eat. I'm not trying to starve myself at my age.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're beautiful, and we just really need to just let our light shine in the beauty of the body we're in. Now, if you want to lose weight, knock yourself out. But just remember, your journey,
I agree.
You're still beautiful. So, Ms. DeVoe, tell us about your event business. I don't want to say business because it's more than a business, because it's so wonderful. you do signature events, which is not the regular event. She's not doing anything. Don't get it wrong, people. Do not call her for a Knights of Columbus. That's not happening. Okay.
Well, a lot of people are under the misconception that I own a lot of businesses. I don't own a lot of businesses, but DeVoe Signature Events is my business, right? And what that is it's a boutique production company that was launched basically to help the plus size fashion industry put on great events, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't done a lot of that. I had not done a lot of that until I launched Full Figure Fashion Week. And then people were like, oh my God, her and her team, they know how to do this. They know how to do that. So that's what DeVoe Signature Events is. It's like the parent company. However, under that parent company, there are many brands.
Mm-hmm.
Most have to do with fashion production, and education. So there's DeVoe Signature Events, there's Full Figure Fashion Week, which is the most popular brand, but I've also done a plus size fashion tour called Dangerous Curves the Tour. I also branded Full Figured and Fabulous, which was a plus size model competition. I've branded the Plus Academy, which was a sort of like Barbizon was back in the day. The Plus Academy was a training program for aspiring plus size models. And I had 8 of them across the country in different major cities, Chicago, everywhere, Atlanta, everywhere, with different directors running those programs. And of late, I've been paying particular attention to a new community, which is the mature model, right? And so I formed, yes. And so I launched the Silver Fox Model Camp, which is kind of what the Plus Academy was, but you have to be 50 years of age and up to take classes at the Silver Fox Model Camp. And then lastly, I was leading towards the Silver Fox Modeling Agency.
Mm-hmm.
But then the universe decided that I should be a model and an actor. I could re-enter, the industry. And so I kind of I put that on hold so that I could mature my own career. So, it's better to know all the ins and outs. And I didn't know anything about acting. So I don't want to teach something that I have no experience in, but that agency is going to launch. It's give me another year, because I've been acting for a year now. So give me another year, another 2 years, and then I'll feel confident within myself to share the knowledge that I have, because I've been doing it. So I have a lot of brands under DeVoe Signature Events. None of them are active now, except for the Silver Fox Model Camp. I still occasionally give workshops in modeling, because I know that like the back of my hand.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't wait to get more acting under my belt so that I can add the acting part to the Silver Fox Model Camp, because I think it's just another niche for us, Yvonne. Like, there are so many things that we can do at this age when the kids are gone. Sometimes the hubby is gone or the wife is gone, whichever's floats your boat. You don't have a companion or whatever. You don't have to sit in that house and just get old. You don't have to. You can go back. And that's exactly what I did. It didn't kick off for me, right, in the 80s. But here it is now, going 2022, and I just became eligible for the SAG union, the Actors Union, yesterday.
I saw that on Facebook. Congratulations. I was like, yes, she's doing it.
I'm going to be 64. And here I am starting this whole new thing. So as long as God gives me the breath and I am in decent health, if people think because I no longer do Full Figure Fashion Week, you think I'm going to slink into the sunset, baby, forget about it. There's a thing on, is it TikTok or Instagram, where the lady is saying, you're going to be sick of me. Y'all can be sick of me, because I am listen, I'm going to ride this thing until the wheels fall off. There's no stopping for me.
Thank you so much, because I come in contact with women all the time. And Miss DeVoe, I'm telling you, you look fabulous for your age.
Oh, thank you so much. I try. I do.
Fabulous.
It doesn't come all the way natural. I mean, I thank God for mommy in heaven for great skin.
Yeah.
I have great skin, but I have to work on other things. I'm diabetic. I was recently diagnosed with diabetes type 2. So I have to watch the things, you know, people are like, oh my God, she's getting thin. Yeah, I still want to eat, but I can't eat as much, you know, but in my 64 years, I've eaten and drank some of the best stuff out there. So I'm good.
Yeah. You have your memories of it to keep you warm, right?
You know, it's just,
Yeah.
you know, you got to pay to play. And right now I'm having a great time playing all these different roles and stuff and acting. And if sometimes I have to not have certain foods, it is what it is. It's good.
When we come back from break, we're going to talk about Miss DeVoe's entrance into the acting world. So I thank you so much for riding with me this long, but this is not a time for you to click out, honey. The best is yet to come. We'll be right back. Check out this clip from the hot new single by Serious Voice and LaToya J, entitled Women First, produced by Serious People Music.
You getting the twisted, getting all jelly, cause you think I'm with them, but you know you're not ready. My truth got me up at 6 a.m. Tapping in the Zoom, cause my God is the REM. Straight up, he died for me. When I pull up, I know he got me. Don't play faves, we all his queens. When they say woman, they mean God. They be looking like, whoa, man, there goes a woman of God. They be looking like, whoa, man, there goes a woman of God. I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman first. I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman too. I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman true. I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman. Oh, when you see me, that's him.
And you are back listening, watching Determined Women of Destiny. Like, share, and subscribe. It's on YouTube. Y'all can do it. What else you doing? Just click subscribe, share it with your friends. I've been having a great conversation with Miss Gwen DeVoe. Some of you know her as the originator of Full Figure Fashion Weeks. Others may know her doing signature events. I just know her as my auntie in my head that's always motivating me on Facebook. If you guys aren't checking her out, you need to. She's really a motivating force. If you're thinking about doing anything, Miss DeVoe's page is the one you want to check out, because every day she gives you a little push in the right direction. Now, before break, we were talking about the Silver Fox Modeling Agency and also your acting. Now, I know that you have an ad for Etsy, and I've seen you on something else on television. I can't recall, but tell us about that.
So, after when the pandemic was just starting to materialize, we were right in the midst of producing what would be our final Full Figure Fashion Week, right? And so that was in 2020. And in March, I decided I'm not going to do it because I don't want people to try to make a choice in terms of coming to New York with this pandemic. Everything was just so up in the air. And so then the world kind of shut down. And then I decided in like 6 weeks, we're going to do Full Figure Fashion Week, but we are going to do a virtual one. Whew, lots of work. We did it. It was successful. We didn't have as many people as we would normally have in person because everybody wasn't, you know, Zoom was still kind of new to people, the whole online thing. So we had a lot of people, but we had nowhere near what we would have typically had in person. So after Full Figure Fashion Week, I'm chilling. I'm like, okay, that's it. I knew I shouldn't have done it. You know, you start thinking, I'm like, oh, I knew I shouldn't have done it. I said I wasn't going to do it. The end. This is officially the end. And then I changed my hairstyle. I go over to my mentor's house, who was a photographer, Dorothy Shee, and she's like, oh, you're rocking this mixed gray hair. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I can get you some work. I'm like, work as in what? Because I had just decided I was finishing Full Figure Fashion Week. I'm tired. I just need to break for a minute. Let me just chill. No, 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 no. I want you to meet this agent. She calls the guy. He wants me to come in. I'm just dragging, right? I got my mask on. I hadn't been out in a while. So I go, he loves me. He signs me.
Wow.
And within 2 months of being signed, although I had been self-taping and submitting, I get the Etsy contract. The biggest so far, right? And everything just started to spiral from there. You know, now he's my commercial agent, and now I'm under the board for state management, and they do fashion stuff and influencer stuff, and it's just I don't know, it's my time. And then because of what I do with those agencies, I belong to a network that sends me casting notices all the time. So I have 2 agents working for me, but I'm also working for myself. So as we used to tell the ladies in the modeling industry, just because you're signed with an agency, that does not mean you stop working for yourself, okay? Remember, agents have tons of people that they are trying to get jobs for, all right? And unless you become one of their hot people who book all the time, you may not get that primo, attention. So you have to keep working for yourself. So I say that because every day my phone is like, bloop, bloop, thank you, Jesus, bloop, 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 with casting directors who want to know if I'm interested in applying for this role. So because of my doing that and still hustling for myself, after Etsy, I did a print ad for Elder Care. I did a print ad for Bed Bath & Beyond. I did another ad for Morgan Stanley. So it's just, and for my acting credits, I've done FBI, America's Most Wanted. I've been an extra on Law and Order. I did Wu-Tang Clan. I was probably the oldest person up on the Wu-Tang Clan set, but I was a bartender. So anyway, but it's just, this hair had changed everything for me. And if you guys follow me, you know that I change my hair a lot. I can't change this hair. Okay, and if I do, and I'm photographed without it, I will never put it on social media because the clients that want me want to see me in this hair. And right now, this is my look. This is my look. And I don't know why it's so popular. Like, I know people with mixed gray hair and gray hair. It's just something about my energy and this hair, and they go, we want to see her. I don't get everything that I audition for, but I've done pretty well for me to have been doing this for maybe, I think it's been like 11 months now, to a year.
Your hair, I'm telling you, is magical because I was going to let my hair grow back gray, because under all of this, it's all white. It's white. And I decided, after seeing your picture, I did a crochet weave that was the mixed gray and black. And I had went to an event and I interviewed the young man. It was a vegan pop-up. You would have thought I broke the internet. Okay, I said, that's Miss DeVoe's look. Everybody's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And
well, Yvonne, do you think it's because women so back in the day, the gray hair was a negative.
Right.
It immediately, because to be honest with you, so I'm telling you about the good parts about being gray. There are some other questionable parts too, like people that are probably older than me want to give me seats on the subway now. Right. And I don't know how I feel about that. And I always go, no, you sit. Right. Like an older man will try. And it's they try to give me seats. It could be because I'm walking slow too, because I'm tired. They give me seats, and there are just other little things, like there's a homeless man about 10 blocks from my apartment complex. And every time I walk by, he goes, "Hey, grandma, you sure looking good today," you know. It's just, and I don't get upset because I know it's the hair. So
Right.
the hair, and I've had people run past me who were walking behind me, run past me to look at the front of my hair, and they'll say, "I love your hair." I get that in the street all the time. "I love your hair, but is it real?" And I don't get offended because I know they're not asking me if it's real because they want to know if it's real. It's just that my face at times probably don't match the hair. They're expecting to see a much older person. So there's some good and the bads to it, but it's the hair that pays. So guess what?
Listen, what pays is what you do. And also the gray hair, when they say, is it real? You know, they're wondering, you know, like, because gray is fashionable now, you know, so.
Especially with everyone doing colors now. So it's not that, right?
Right. So
It's
they're
not
like,
that odd.
did this really grow? Are you really gray, or did you add it? You know, that
Oh, it's all added.
yeah, because they're looking at your face and they're like, there's no way, you know, that she could be gray. I tell people I started graying at 18. I had a patch right here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I started graying at 18. Yep, I had one patch that was a silver patch, and I always wore my hair this way so you really couldn't see it. And I didn't have a problem with it until the patch started here. You know, I didn't go salt and pepper. I was just like a whole halo.
Oh, great. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was gray for a little bit. I enjoyed it, and I wanted a blue hue, you know, to celebrate my granddaughter who's autistic. And when you see me with blue hair, that's what I'm doing. And this is April, the month of autism. So
yes,
you know, the awareness. But it turned out turquoise, and I had to speak the next day.
Wow.
So there was nothing to take it away, so I had to go black. So you know, I just stayed there, and I've tried to go back gray, but you know, once you're used to something, you're like, I don't know if I want to do all the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I tell you, that style is magical on you. It literally is. It's just illuminating.
Well, it was the start of my acting career, and I've done gray locks. I bought a unit. You may have seen some of the pictures where I wear gray locks. People like that, but there's a different kind of client that asked me to audition for that, and I know what it is. I know who they are and what it's. So it's giving me some brevity, so I'll understand. Like, you know, they probably want this, and I'll just interchange depending on the client. It's really, I'm still learning so much. I'm still learning so much, you know, but there's a lot of work out there for us, Yvonne. There's a lot of work. You just have to be prepared. You have to have a lot of energy.
I was just gonna say, you know,
how to have that, you know, because no one's doing a lot of auditions in person anymore. Everything is self-taping. So, you know, you got your setup. You ready to self-tape right now because you are perfectly framed. And you know, I had some difficulty this morning. I still think I'm kind of like, look at the thing going back and forth. It's a lot of work. And the times where you have downtime, you have to practice.
Okay.
You know, instead of watching the TV, get up, put your lights up, put your backdrops up. Like Yvonne is you know, she got this framing thing all down. Practice, turn your camera to the right, left. This is how it's put markers in the floor if you have to. It can be a little daunting, but once you get it and you get it down pat, you won't have to worry about it. So it's not easy, people. It's not easy.
I was just going to say, because you mentioned Barbizon, and you know, I'm a product of Barbizon. I was a counselor, and my mother said no. And threw me in there every Saturday. I was sitting there with my head turned around backwards, with my jeans on that I had just pulled out the hamper. Who knew if they were clean or not? With my legs gapped open, talking about why am I here? You know. By the time I finished, I was walking into rooms regally. But I was going to ask, you know, any suggestions of, you know, women or even men of a certain age that say, hey, I may want to try my hand at this. because at one time I wanted to do modeling or acting, which I've done acting also, you know, what should I do? And you just told us, you even throw some stuff, some casting calls up on Facebook. One time I was like, well, who do I interact with? And it was funny, you didn't answer. And I said, she didn't answer, Yvonne, because it's your job. She gave you the clip.
I didn't answer. I always try to answer.
Yeah, but
what was going on?
You know what it was? I looked at it, I said, you know what? She gave you the cast call, Yvonne.
Oh.
You trying to get through the back door because, oh, I know Miss DeVoe, she can get me in. No. Hit the cast call. Handle it yourself.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Yvonne, because I think that's one of the challenges. You had asked me if I wanted to promote anything, and I said no. But for those, for your viewers that are watching this that are at least 50 years of age and they're on Facebook, they can go to my Facebook. It's a private page. It's called the Silver Fox Model Camp. And before you are allowed to join, I just ask you 3 basic questions, like, do you want to model, blah, 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 that kind of thing. But you have to answer the 3 questions because I need to know who's in the room, okay? And that's where we share a lot of different casting notices, if I'm having any workshops or anything like that. But one of the things, and this is funny, but not funny, one of the things I do notice about us, and when I say us, I'm talking about mature individuals, our minds can sometimes be a little lazy, so we don't read. Okay, so if somebody puts up a casting notice and they give you the information, go to the source that's in the flyer or the information. Don't come back to the person who put that up, because they don't know. It's not their casting. Unless it says Gwen DeVoe presents, I don't know. I'm just sharing. And I'm smiling, Yvonne, because that happens all the time. And part of it is because we don't read everything. Part of it is because we don't really know. And the other part is because we haven't been in this game. We've been so busy as adults taking care of our families and our businesses and other things. And now we have this downtime and we don't know how to get back into it. You know what I mean? Like, they used to give out flyers for everything. Now everything is online, you know? And one of the learning curves is how to effectively use social media. You know, someone that I used to go to school with contacted me. I haven't talked to this girl in like 30 years. And she's like, I saw you on TV, blah, 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 blah. And I want to know how to get into it. And I go to look at her Facebook page and I go, what do you want to get into? Your page doesn't show me anything. Doesn't show me that you have an interest in anything that I do. It's all family. I said, you probably need to make a new Facebook page in your name and put behind it like Sally Hansen actor or something like that. So she's like, oh, that's a great idea. So we just need to get back in. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, it may mean taking some workshops. You don't have to take them with me, but you know, I know there's a YouTube Academy out there. I know that you can Google everything, but some of us need one-on-one training or training in a group setting, because you can't always rely on everything that you see in Google to be truthful.
Right.
You can Google anything. That doesn't mean it's true.
Right.
You know, so you want to invest your money. When you're investing in yourself, the money that you invest in whatever training you have, you want to make sure that person has receipts. What have you done? Like, I love when somebody wants to present a workshop to me and I go, so when's the last time you did this? Oh, I haven't done it. Girl, bye. I need somebody that's done this before, you know, and then you have to be careful because there are a lot of copycats out there who are taking somebody else's workshop and then they want to teach you.
Right.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's so competitive out there, but we can do it. Invest in yourself. You know, get your social media ready, because a lot of times for my second agency, I was scouted off of social media. Now, mind you, I probably had a name from Full Figure Fashion Week, but I didn't apply. All of a sudden I got this email that said, we're interested in representing you. Let's have a talk. I was like, yeah, right. And had the talk. I had my contract in like 3 days. So it can happen. And I'm still looking for more representation because no one's giving any exclusive contracts these days. So you can have as many agents as you want, but that's something for the workshop. So make sure you sign up for the workshop.
Ms. DeVoe, thank you so much. You have given us so many nuggets.
Oh, my
And
pleasure.
And so much inspiration and motivation. I mean, I'm like, can I find a picture somewhere? Can I throw something up? Can somebody say, well, maybe you got all those different glasses. We want you. But what I came from today is understanding you're never too old to live your dreams.
It's never too late. As long as you have a breath to breathe, you can use that as motivation to start whatever you want. Start something new, reactivate something old. You can do it. Now it's time for us at this age to be selfish with our time and try to work on some of those goals that we put on the back burner because we were trying to be mothers, fathers, aunties, raising kids, raising somebody else's kids because they couldn't do it. It's time for us to be selfish with our time and now do something for us. It's never, ever too late. You just have to be prepared. And with preparation comes dedication. You gotta put the work in it. You can't just be beautiful and speak well or whatever. You still have to network, unfortunately. Yeah. Be in the right room.
Gotta grind it
the
out.
Right place. Yes. You want to do stuff for clients. People have to like you. I know we got people that say, I don't care. You gotta care. You have to care, or you have to be that fierce actor that is mean as heck in person, but on camera, you come alive and they want to buy like teddy bears from you or whatever. That means you're a great actor, but you have to care. You have to care. You have to sell products to people. You have to sell a story to people. So you have to be believable. So if you got a terrible disposition, you're in here trying to tell people to drink this Pepsi Cola, this new Pepsi, and you're like, no energy. They're not going to buy it and you're not going to get paid. End of story.
All right. You guys heard it here first. Once again, I have been chatting it up with Miss Gwen DeVoe. Check out her Silver Fox Modeling Agency. You can find her on Facebook. Ms. DeVoe, tell us more places where.
The private Facebook page is, because you can't find it, so you have to know what to look for. Okay. In your search bar on Facebook, search for Silver Fox Model Camp. And when you try to join, it's going to ask you, why do you want to join? And it's just 3 short questions. They're not personal. I just want to know what your aspirations are. And then you get approved to get to the group and you have access to the castings that I put up just for mature folks, actors, modeling, voiceovers, anything that I find, I usually try to share with that group. So I look forward to seeing you in the group.
Great. Now, come on, people, let's change the game, ladies. Change the game. And until next time, keep doing what you're doing until what you're doing gets done.
Yes.